Optimum, you suck. It's absolutely terrible.
That was
internet.
me last week. They were on my bad side last week, so I am hashtag team fuck Optimum right now too. So we can team up on that one.
Dude, I'm very, very upset with Optimum right now. All right, so we're back and better than ever. I saw a super chat pop in, so I want to get to those before we. I can't show them on screen because it was from the last stream. But Brian Bogan says we beat the 21 AFC champs with a practice squad quarterback. Talking about Mike White beating the Bengals, and then Pooch Guy comes in and says, just want to bring to light that there were a few times it was Huff, Lawson, Quinnen, and John Franklin Myers, and those seem to get the most pressures. That should be our first four every game. I actually do have this stat pulled up, so I'll throw this up real quick. I was going to get to this just a little bit later, but with Quinnen, Lawson, and Huff on the field at the same time through 2 games, the Jets have 19 snaps with those 3, 15 pressures, 6 quarterback hits, and 3 sacks. This defensive line, when they have their best players playing, is pretty damn impressive. Matt, how you feeling about the D-line?
Very, very good. I think Carl Lawson's been like downright phenomenal the last 3 weeks, and arguably had the best game I've ever seen a Jets pass rusher have this past week against the Dolphins. Had the strip sack, 7 or 8 hits on the quarterback. He was all over the field. Quinnen, another sack. Like, you could just pencil him in for his weekly sack at this point with Quinton Williams. JFM's the unsung hero of the unit. He does the dirty work and comes up big for this team. And Huff is just so effective. He might be the most underrated player in football. Whenever he is on the field, good things happen. I love this unit right now. They're performing really, really well.
Green Bean, how you feeling about the D-line?
Yeah, well, look, I think that the commenter has a great point, right? Like, that should be our starting D-line. Now, I would make the case that maybe Jermaine Johnson and Huff should do a 50-50 kind of thing or something like that. But that all aside, dude, it makes so much sense. Now, look, if Jeff Ulbrich just has to get hit in the head 15 times before it sinks in, good. I'm glad we're already on week 5 and maybe it's starting to sink in. But like the mix of, like, you know, JFM on the end, Solomon Thomas, Nathan Shepard, it's like it doesn't make sense. Now, again, you got to bring somebody in so somebody can get a rest, a couple plays, that's fine. But you can see the difference when Bryce Huff's on the field with Carl Lawson. Michael Clemens is good coming in off the bench. But yeah, man, the difference between Quinton Williams and Nathan Shepard or Solomon Thomas is so stark. It's like we can't even have the conversation that Nathan Shepard has any value with, you know, yes, use the run. Dude, he does nothing against the run. Nathan Shepard gets blown off the ball, pushed around. I mean, there was one play he was on the field. We were streaming. We chose to watch him. He literally went in. They like let him go in. He fell on his face and they sat on him. That was his contribution to like the play we were watching. Like, look, let's watch Nathan Shepard. So anyway, I think there's a lot of potential on this line. And a lot of it's young, right? Like Bryce Huff is still young, man. Don't forget, he was an undrafted free agent. He's year 3. He was injured a lot last year. Like he has a lot of upside still. Jermaine Johnson. Then you got Quinnen's 25, I think he is. And he's really just kind of coming into his own. We might be seeing the beginning of what they could become. And I think the more playing time that they get, like the stat that you put up there, Ryan, it's like, I mean, you look, it's like, I mean, that's unbelievable numbers. And then I saw Matt O'Leary's video earlier. I mean, Carl Lawson, he's like second in the league with quarterback hits and the sacks. And it's like, and he didn't even do anything the first 2 games. Like, this is 3 games pretty much for him, you know? And he's just coming out of the box here. So I think, you know, once we get these guys like really rolling, it could be devastating. I think I'm excited about these guys.
Carl Lawson pass rush win rate by week. Week 1, 6%. Week 2, 0%. Week 3, 27%. Week 4, 21%. Week 5, 47%. The average for an edge rusher is 16 to 17%. So he has been well above average the last 3 weeks and incredibly dominant this past week. Yeah, absolutely awesome.
And Jets Forever said what I was going to say in the chat. and he gets held almost every single play. He's held. Finally, we saw it called. But I mean, the offensive tackle, the left tackle, it always looks the same. Like their arm is wrapped around his neck. You just look, it's the same. Dude, they can't stop him. And that's an amazing thing. I mean, even if that kid, look, if he draws 3 or 4 holding penalties a game, that's just as good. Whatever. But yeah, he's we were a little disappointed weeks 1 and 2, I think. And I'm among that group who is disappointed. But I think it looks like they're starting to gel a little bit. Carl Lawson, man, if he keeps going like this, it's going to be fun.
Pat Dunn drops in with his member super chat, says AVT is team MVP at this point. I've never seen a player be so versatile. For those of you that didn't catch it before, Elijah Vera Tucker currently ranks 10th of 75 tackles in the NFL. That's counting left tackles and right tackles. The guy's played just 2 games at that position in his NFL career, so he's been absolutely awesome right there. Spectre Gaming says Jets take out of the next 3. Jets take out of the next 3. Take 2 of the next 3. I think that's autocorrect. Take 2 of the next 3. I think they can make the wild card. Is it true as it stands right now? If the season ended, we're in a wild card spot?
Yeah.
The number 5 spot, baby.
Oh, man. Watch out. Jets are coming. Love it. Soreless comes in, says Miami fans told Buffalo fans to not use injuries as an excuse for their loss. Now that's all I see Miami fans using as an excuse for their loss to us. 100%. And look, I think there's absolutely merit to having a third-string quarterback playing against us and having him perform poorly. 100% understand that. But the Jets hung 40 on your fucking defense, so sit the fuck down. I'm done with this.
Right.
So done with that.
That's
Green,
right.
you got any thoughts on this friggin' injury issues with Miami?
Well, number one, what is that? Sorless? Yeah, he's right, or she for that matter. Sorless is right. That's exactly what we heard that. There was that whole big debate when they played. Now, right on the heels of that, a little bit later, now they're doing the same thing. Dude, here's the truth of it. They started the game with their second-string quarterback. It was our defensive play call and the effective employment of said play call by our rookie cornerback that took their second string quarterback out of the game. That was part of the game. That counts. That we did that. That was 2 points, and then they punted it. Berrios ran skiddly ding dang down to the 50, and I think we got 3 points out of that. That was us. We did that. We made Skylar Jenkins have to come back on the field. That's what we did.
Skylar Thompson.
I know who it is. I know his name.
You called Jenkins all you want. That's all right. That's all right.
Skylar Johnson.
I like the other one. Was it Skylar Mc? We used to call him Skylar Mc something. I like that one.
Yeah. It just rolls
Loser.
out. McGoogle again. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And like you said, dude, the defense, look, their best offense was penalties. Some of them were, good. Other ones were questionable. So there was a lot of bullshit and stuff like that on both ends. But the truth is that we're supposed to beat their third string quarterback. The Jets of the past 2 or 3 years don't do it. Skylar comes in and he's a hero, just like Pickett the week before. He comes in. That's why Tomlin did that. This is the game to bring him in the second half. The Jets make heroes out of guys coming in like that. Well, we stopped him and we stopped this guy, and that's what we're supposed to do. That's why we're happy, because it's a change from what we've been watching the last bunch of years. This is different. That's why we're happy. Not because this game means we're going to the Super Bowl. It's because clearly something's different. And not for nothing, how about all these fourth quarter goodies we've been getting? Are we a fourth quarter team? Can you imagine having a fourth quarter team? Oh, my God.
I don't think I have the stats here. I don't think I retweeted it. Oh, man, I should have. It was like Zach Wilson through the last 5 games. It was like a 76% completion percentage. And like, do you have those there, Matt?
That. I could find that in a second. It's his last 5 quarters. Hang on.
Yeah. By the way, Sorless has a great avatar right now. It's Tyreek Hill getting bodied on the ground. Love it.
You want? I have it right now.
Yeah, throw it up. What was the stats?
Okay, so it's Zach Rosenblatt, who is the latest Jets beat reporter for The Athletic, says Zach Wilson his last 5 quarters, 72-7 completion percentage, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, 0 turnovers, led 8 scoring drives.
Wild. Absolutely
I'll
wild.
take it.
100%.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yep.
𝐒𝐿𝐴N𝐭𝐭, thank you for becoming the newest member of the Frequent Flyer portion of the channel. Make sure you drop some JETS in the chat for this Victory Tuesday that we got going on. Let's see. I do want to touch on, before I see a bunch of super chats coming in, guys. We're going to get to it. I see John Harrington, Matthew, Brian. You guys are the next 3 up, and then we'll work down the list. But we just touched on Zach, so I want to bring this up right now. Zach went 66%, 210 yards, and a touchdown this past weekend. And this is a weird stat, and I don't know the official stats on it, but last year Zach Wilson had some crazy amount of receptions ending on the 1-yard line. This week, Zach Wilson had 2 more. Breece Hall could have had 3 touchdowns on the day, and Zach Wilson could have had 3 touchdowns on the day, but his receptions ended on the 1-yard line. That doesn't happen with that much frequency, but it seems to happen to Zach all the damn time.
Yeah,
Green, your thoughts?
That's crazy. That's really interesting because, remember we did that at the end of last year. So his numbers are kind of skewed, but think about this. Isn't it high time that when they look at the numbers, like the box score, they go, he does 14 for 21 for 210 yards, 0 touchdowns. It's like, no. He ran a touchdown in. Isn't it high time that a quarterback running a touchdown in actually counts for a quarterback getting a touchdown? What the fuck is this? Why don't we do that? I don't understand.
Totally weird. Totally
Somebody
weird.
has
If it's
to
Lamar,
talk to
they'll
me.
throw it up there all damn day. But
Right.
Zach Wilson, no, sorry, we're not throwing the rushing touchdown up there.
Yeah,
Matt,
what
your thoughts
is it?
on Zach?
he
I'm
does
sorry,
that. No, I'm just yelling. Don't worry about me. I'm good.
Yeah, I thought it was really this is not going to go down in history as a elite level Zach day, but I thought he was extremely effective. He completed 66% of his passes. By the way, 21 passing attempts, 210 yards. That's 10 yards per attempt. His ADOT was over 10. All the little things he was doing well, and he didn't turn the ball over. There were no throws where he said, "Oh my God, they were lucky that one wasn't picked off." He was fine.
Right.
He played what the defense gave him. They ran the ball down their throat, and that was it.
And not for nothing, and I'm not someone to really bitch and moan at the refs, but could you please call some consistency on these pass interferences? Yeah. Sauce and Reed, I think it was Sauce and Carter, or Sauce, Reed, and Carter, all 3 of them I think had some sort of pass interference called against them. But then there's that play to Conklin where Zach points and bombs the ball and the dude doesn't even turn around, hits the back of the Dolphins dude's helmet. It's no flag there. The 4th and 2 to Corey Davis, he's getting mugged. He winds up not getting a call either, but I have a issue with the 3rd down call just before that. I hate running out of the shotguns. Ugh, that gets me mad. But
I know, empty backfield.
Ugh.
I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Why does he do that?
Makes no sense to me.
I don't
Zero
like it.
sense. Let's see. We got Thomas Cahill and Dylan Grace. Thank you so much for becoming the newest members of the economy class. Boys and girls, drop some JETS in the chat. I got to come up with some new emojis. I should have done a squish the fish emoji. I didn't do that.
Ooh, that would have been good.
That would have been fun. John Harrington says, guys, Tyreek always puts up numbers, even with some random reporter. Guess not when the Jets D is involved. Yeah, did you guys see that interview with Tyreek Hill? And he's just I could put up numbers. They were saying, you put up numbers with Alex Smith. I could put up numbers with you. And it's all right, dude. Now 3rd string quarterback, not against this defense, 47 yards. Right. Cheetah got put back in the zoo.
That's right, 47 yards, yo. That's what you did, big old nothing. Waddle had 23. I think Tyreek Hill had 13 yards rushing. And dude, we stopped him. And listen, not for nothing. You got to give it, right? Mostert had himself a day, right? He was, but that's what the Jets did, dude. You could see it. We took Waddle and Hill out of the game. Now, Mostert, they said, look, he's going to get what he gets, but we'd rather live and die by that choice. Dude, Tyreek Hill, they tried to get him involved. They were trying to give him the game. We took it. We took it from him. 47 yards in the air, 13 yards on the ground. I believe that's his lowest totals, or he may have had a 30 one week as well. But either way, it's among his worst in a long time, and I'll take it, man.
Matt, how'd you feel about Tyreek getting caged?
Yeah, I mean, he was really the only time that I thought he was effective was when he was drawing those pass interferences, which were a little ticky-tacky. He did have the one nice play where he kind of stole the interception from DJ Reed, but pretty quiet day. I completely forgot, like, Jalen Waddle played in this game. I forgot. You would have had to remind me because I did not remember until I looked at the box score before recording Just Jets earlier. He also did basically nothing, and Tyreek talked a lot of shit before the year about the Jets, and Quinton threw him to the ground, and that was very nice.
That's easily my favorite play that Quinton's ever made. It's just like a lot of good plays, but that's a fun one.
That's what I voted for. I voted for it last night too. But look, and it came out that the Jets, they were bothered by those comments. Like, look, nothing gets out. We don't bitch and moan in the press or anything like that. But it turns out that a lot of Jets didn't like that shit. And so when it came time to play him, they were focused on shutting him down, man. They wanted to shut his mouth. And when Quinton, wait, who said it? Michael Carter? He said when Quinton had the ball in his hand, he became a different person. Or he's like, oh my God. Something like, I forget exactly how he said it, but it was funny. Yeah, dude, Quinton, he doesn't get the ball in his hands very often. That's only his second fumble recovery in his whole career, including college. So, and this was the first one I think he actually got to pick up and run. He was, and the fact that it was Tyreek Hill, he was like, oh boy. Oh
Did you
boy.
See the memes Jesus. Online? The Quinton Williams left arm is known as the IRS coming for the state taxes. Oh, that's great. Yeah. So good. So good.
That's great.
Matthew comes in with the super chat, says, MetLife was great. The fans that aren't as delusional as me, that will never stop going, are starting to come back. They are a part of this change as well. Home field advantage is on its way back, Jets fans. We have not had a true home field advantage in like a decade. Like maybe late 2015 when we were almost on that run to try and make a wild card. Yep. But literally, other teams will book tickets to come to MetLife knowing they can come to New York City, knowing they can come to the area, and they're probably going to see a win. The Jets have been bad for the majority of this last 10-year stretch. So to get some victories here, let's make it so that way Jet fans don't want to sell their season tickets to opposing fans. Let's make it so other teams don't want to come out and see a loss like Green Bean was saying earlier. I don't want opposing teams' fans in our stadium. That needs to be a home field advantage for us. And I think with this team, by the end of the year, you're going to see that in full force. Brian comes in. Brian says, thoughts on Brady roughing penalty. So yeah, let's talk about this. The Tom Brady roughing the passer and the Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr roughing the passer. The two back-to-back nights. So the Tom Brady play was really weird because he just got tackled and like thrown off to the side. Not a bad penalty by any means. We've been seeing that for 20 friggin' years. Like that doesn't surprise any Jet fan in this chat right now that's what Brady's preferential treatment was getting. Wow. And then last night, the Raiders-Chiefs game, friggin' Jones comes up and mugs Carr, gets the ball away from him, has the ball in his arms, and lands on top of Carr, and they call it roughing the passer because he fell with his weight on him, even though Jones was in possession of the football. Crazy. What do you think about the NFL's roughing the passer calls this year so far, Matt?
Inconsistent. I think it's been very inconsistent, the penalties just in general, but they are obviously very scared of what happened with Tua, but the issue was not the penalties being called or not being called. It was what happened with him being put back in this game. So I just think like it's become so ticky-tacky. They might as well just put a flag on the quarterback or a red jersey, and you have to two-hand touch him for him to go down because it's not football.
Yeah, right. I'd almost prefer that at this point. At least it's like, a quick done. You don't have to worry about it. It's like eliminating like kickoffs. I almost feel the same way. Yeah. You're taking it out of the game at this point. Green Bean, how you feeling about these roughing the passer calls?
Well, just like you said, I mean, look, here's the whole NFL bitching about it finally. But just like was said, we've been watching that for years. Don't forget, in addition to that, his offensive linemen are allowed to hold more. But what really bothered me about it was the fact that he told the ref to throw it, and he threw it. Like, that's the thing. It wasn't like the ref threw it. Like, he stood up, bitch. And didn't he, like, make a kick? He, like, tried to kick.
He tried to kick him in the nuts.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? And that's like, when you see the penalty, you almost think it's for that. And it's like, nope. And that was a mild thing. I think look, dude, Shady Tom Brady is involved in so much stuff. Whenever there's a scandal going on, Tom Brady's a part of it. And for some reason, like even just recently, the Miami Dolphins got penalized. They lost a draft pick. The whole Flores thing. Everybody's in trouble except for Tom Brady. And then when the Miami Dolphins are going to play the Bucs in the preseason, Tom Brady, they say, hey, why don't you just take a little vacation? And then we'll just so you don't have to answer these questions, we'll let it all cool down. He was gone for like 10 days. Like, why do they do this? Is fucking 50 years of this guy not enough? Like, can we at least let him actually, be held to the same standards as everybody else? It's real bullshit. And I wish the entire NFL fan base would join together and be livid about this and let the NFL know we're done. But, dude, they clearly give him preferential treatment. Again, he tried to kick a guy in the nuts, didn't get called. The guy sacked him mildly. He told the ref to throw the damn flag, and he did. And that is crazy to me.
NY Jets 24 drops in with Super Chat, says, gentlemen, great show. Always watching your podcast. Where does Joe Douglas go from here? Does he trade Mims at the trade deadline, try to get more picks? I would consider moving Mims to Green Bay after we play them. They are hurting for wide receivers right now, but at the same time, he's not costing you a lot to hold on to him. So, in the situation where Corey Davis or one of Elijah Moore or Garrett Wilson goes down, you have a guy that's talented enough to step right in. So I don't know if the draft pick we're going to get back correlates to a more successful season with losing Mims, but if we can get like a third or a high, I don't know if I'd do it for a fourth. I think a third would make me do it in season, maybe a fourth after the season if we decide we're holding on to Corey Davis long term. But I don't know. What do you think, Matt? You think you trade Denzel Mims?
Denzel Mims is the last thing on my mind right now. I honestly, all respect to NY Jets 24, they're 3-2. They've won 2 games in a row. Zach Wilson looked good. Breece Hall's looked amazing. All these young guys have looked good. Why even waste breath on Denzel Mims, who hasn't played a single snap? And I like Mims. I know they're gonna have the Jets forever in the world, and feed Mims. Dude, who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. They're winning football games. He's not playing. I really don't care what they do with him right now. I don't. That's Denzel Mims is the last thing on my mind right now.
Green Bean, any thoughts on Mims?
I think about Denzel Mims constantly. I don't know what this Matt is out of his. How do you not think about Denzel Mims?
I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry, Green.
Fuck you, man. But look, that aside, right? We're 3-2. We got, just like you said, Ryan. Denzel Mims costs about 55 cents to sit there now. So he's he's a non-issue contractually. Look, we just happen to be not experiencing the number of injuries that we usually do. I'm going to knock on wood because I'm afraid of this shit. But Denzel Mims coming in, if Corey Davis goes down or whatever, is not a bad situation to be in, man. Rather than seeing, Irv, what's the guy's name? The guy from the small school, or Irv something. He's on our practice squad right now. Irv Charles. Rather than seeing Irv Charles get bumped up, it's I think just like Ryan said, if Green Bay says, hey, we'll give you a third and you're clearly not going to use them, okay, you entertain that. If not, and they prefer Jeff Smith, just let him sit there. And if somebody gets hurt, you have that guy coming in as opposed to the likes of Irv Charles or signing Dante Moncrief off of the goddamn street. You know what I mean? Dude, we've seen this before. How about we just keep the storeroom stocked? You know what I mean? It's already stocked. No reason to throw out the grains.
100%.
It doesn't mean anything. Just keep him where he is. Who cares?
Right. That's what I'm saying. But
Brian drops in. We beat the 21 AFC champs with the practice squad quarterback. Yes, Brian, we absolutely did. C. Thompson, Thank you for the $10 super chat. I'm going to scroll down to your second $10 super chat because I did see that one pop up, and then we'll go back up to, I believe Edward Ziff is next, but let me just find this real fast. All right. C says, a dynasty is becoming born before your eyes. I am still 9-8. I'm still at 9-8. Who knows? Dare to dream. Yeah, look, Jet fans are starting to get excited. If the Jets can beat Green Bay in Green Bay, then you start looking ahead a little bit. And you want to take, I keep preaching one game at a time. Don't get too far ahead. But I am absolutely keeping an eye just a little bit further ahead. It's like, okay, well, we could beat Green Bay. Denver looks like dog shit. The Patriots don't look like world beaters. Then you, like, let's say you lose to Buffalo. You're now, what is that, 6-2 at the bye? Is that right? Or am I missing a game in there? I might be missing a game in there. And then, then you got the Lions, you've got the Bears, you've got the Jaguars, you got the Dolphins again, you got the Patriots again. Like, there's some games in there that if the Jets start clicking and Zach Wilson starts having like a 300-yard game here and there and Breece Hall is going off, this is absolutely a team that could shock a lot of other teams. And I think there's a lot of teams out there right now that do not want to play the Jets as it stands right now. Matt, your thoughts on the Jets and where they could possibly be by the end of the season?
Yeah, the next 3 games are really key. I think we're going to find out what this Jets team is. If they are a team that looks like they're going to actually be competitive, then they should come out of this spot 2-1. But if it's really going to be the quote unquote same old Jets, then they probably struggle during this stretch. It's 3 teams that are beatable. I'm not saying, you got to win all the games. That's probably unrealistic to say they got to win 3 games in a row right now after, winning the last 2, but go 2-3 over this stretch and I'd be happy.
Green Bean, what are your thoughts on where the Jets could possibly be by the end of this season?
The season? Or like
could be the next few games, but just like total win wise, like how are you feeling record wise?
Well, it's funny. Jake put out a show, right? Like, do the expectations change for the Jets now that they've beaten Miami or won 2 in a row? For me, no. Like, maybe I didn't think we were going to beat, the Steelers, and I thought we'd beat the Ravens. Like, whatever it is, I think like this is right along the lines of what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a competitive team. That's why the first 2 weeks were the first week really was so incredibly disappointing, especially with all of us there in the rain and everything. Mm-hmm. But it was like watching a team. It looked very reminiscent of last year. And then the Bengals game, kind of the same thing. We were disappointed because we wanted to just be a competitive team. And then when you're competitive, you can actually pull out some of those games. And that's what we want. My expectations are 7 to 9 wins. Now, if they get on a run and they go more than that, hooray. I mean, I'm
house
all
money,
about
right?
it. I would love nothing more than to watch us be 15-2. Go right to the Super Bowl. Like, we're the team. Jets, Giants, Super Bowl. Like, I would love it, right? Love, love, love. That said, my expectations don't change because this is what I wanted to see. I want to see a competitive team that plays to the whistle, 60 minutes of football, are in every game. Like, that's what I want to see, and that's what we're starting to see, and the team is starting to believe. Like that comment by Breece Hall, and he started to pull back from it. He kind of caught himself, but he said there was a moment when him and someone else were on the sideline. I think it's Michael Carter, but he didn't say that. And they took a second and said, damn, man, we're good. Like, we're looking around at the roster. If that team clicks, like really starts clicking and believing, dude, we have enough talent to do a lot and to beat almost anybody, man. Like, that's the thing. And when you look at teams like Green Bay, who still has Aaron Rodgers, and they got some nice receivers, Romeo Doubs. I like Romeo Doubs. I like Cobb. But they're not world beaters. You know what I mean? Like, we could potentially steal a win up there. And then Denver, who we all thought was going to be a juggernaut, they look like shit. So maybe, just maybe, we can hang with these teams and start to beat a few of them. If we can come out like before the bye, if we could win, let's see. There's 9. What is it? 9 games, so 5. If we come out 2-2, after before the bye, I'm psyched. If we can do 3, like, holy cow! What I don't want to see is the team come out flat because we're all psyched. Like, 2 in a row was good enough for us. Like, and I don't want to see that shit. I want to see this continue. I want to believe that these coaches are not going to be streaky and spotty and up and down. I want to see continued competitiveness. And my expectations still remain 7 to 9 wins with hopes of more.
Edward Ziff drops in, says 2 of Zach's touchdowns stopped at the 1 yard line. Yes, we were talking about that earlier. He has a lot of receptions over the last 2 years that have ended on the 1 yard line, like really weird, goofy situations. So that does factor into his stat line. Like the box score doesn't always tell the full story. That's why you got to watch the games 100%. Michael Yee drops in, says, when the Jets win in the trenches, they compete. Yes, offensive line. This was our best offensive line showing by far, in my opinion, for this season. Green Bean, what were your thoughts on AVT playing on the right-hand side, getting Dwayne Brown back on the left-hand side, just having a stout offensive line in general?
Yeah, I mean, come on. With AVT, bro, I mean, seriously. I mean, the guy is everything that you hope to get in players. Players that are willing to take one for the team, are willing to move around. Like this era is like if you move a guy from, like middle linebacker to weak side, like all of a sudden that's the reason he sucks. Like I don't like that. Like I come from an era when guys were able to play football, and AVT, and he's a callback to that. And look what he's doing, man. He dominated at left tackle. They moved him over the right tackle, even though we talked about the very realistic possibility that I still didn't believe they'd do it. I mean, 3 positions in 3 weeks. I was like, nah, they're not going to. That's pushing it with this guy. And they did it, and he played just as good over there. He had I think he gave 3 pressures or something like that. I forget. I looked at it.
I don't even know if it was that. It was like insanely good, if I remember seeing the tweet correctly.
Before, I think, yeah, one of them he gave 3 pressures, but yeah, either way, I mean, it's incredible, man. You look at the guy. The only thing he hasn't played on our team in 2 years is center, and that's just amazing. I mean, I think I hope that the whole team and the whole offensive line is inspired by him. Like, yeah, man, if the team needs something, we do it. You know what I mean? Like, like when a kicker,
the punter comes in and kicks field goals or something.
Yeah, right. Like, it's like, yeah, man, it's like that could be a death knell. Like a guy comes in and sucks at another position. People get mad at him. He sucks. Fucking caught him. Like, that's the way it goes. And they're taking a risk. Like if AVT sucked at right tackle, there's going to be some sort of backlash. Like, oh, we knew it wouldn't last. He's blah, blah, blah. He's limited, whatever it is. But it's like he took the risk. 3 different positions in 3 weeks. He dominated at all of them. And I couldn't be happier that he's ours. And I think he's still on the ascend, man. When that guy gets to play one position for a few years, he's going to be amazing, in my opinion.
Guys, we have over 650 people in this live stream right now. Make sure you drop a like if you're enjoying the stream. For every 25 likes we get, we're going to pick a qualifier for a t-shirt giveaway that we're going to do at the end of the stream. And if you're watching the stream after the fact, all you got to do is leave a comment down below and get yourself entered into next week's t-shirt giveaway. Indy Colt comes in and says, Sauce is Revis Plus as a rookie. Agree? So here's a stat for you from Pro Football Focus. Sauce Gardner allowed a 34.2 passer rating in coverage this past week. That is less than if the quarterback threw an incompletion on every target. This kid is 100% better than Revis rookie year. No questions asked right now. Now, I don't know if Sauce is going to have the career that Revis wound up having. He was an all-time great. But the trend is going up. This kid's going to be really friggin' good. Matt, I want to hear your thoughts on how Sauce is playing this year.
Excellent. I am very what's the word? Apprehensive. Yeah, to put Sauce and Darrelle Revis in the same conversation, in like the same sentence, because like Darrelle Revis is the best corner of all time. And I love Sauce Gardner. He's been phenomenal. You can't ask for any better. And you're right. A rookie version of Sauce Gardner, probably better than what we saw from rookie Darrelle Revis, but for his career, Darrelle Revis is the best corner of all time. But yes, beyond thrilled with what we saw from Sauce.
Ablab drops in with a super chat, says, I'd love to see Quinnen in our goal line offense similar to William Perry. Love you guys. #gang. Yeah, I would love to see like some of that Sheldon Richardson, like throw him on like as fullback or as an extra blocker. Like he's someone that just wants to dominate the person in front of him. And like, I almost don't understand why in those goal line situations you don't see that more frequently, because there's some really strong defensive linemen that know how to get through another person on the defensive side of the ball. Green Bean, you want to see some Quinnen love on the goal line?
Yeah, I know. That's fun, Ablab. I think that's a really fun idea, especially after we just watched him absolutely throat slam Tyreek Hill. I'd be down for it, but I got to be honest. I do get nervous, like for stuff like that, like injury and all that stuff. But that said, I mean, look, if Quinnen was game and he's like, just give me the ball, man, or like, let me lead block for Breece, I think that would be fantastic. That's what teams that do that are having fun. You know what I mean? And they believe and they're exploring, and we haven't been that team in a long time, and I'd love to see that stuff actually.
Edward Ziff comes in and says, Matt, Ryan, Bean, go to Pat's game on Halloween Eve. So I have not made an official determination yet, but I am pretty sure that I'm going to be going to that game. Like 90% sure. That's as close as I can be. And it's going to be damn near 100% sure if the Jets can wind up getting a win one, maybe two of these next 2 weeks. Going to be really, really exciting. Brandon Frey drops in, says, I think that's supposed to say Michael Carter II had perfect coverage. Those refs were awful. Yes, I think there was a little bit of inconsistency in the flags they were throwing. He also comes in and says, has AVT ever had a penalty called on him? I don't believe so.
Nope.
He has. Ever?
Let's see.
Not as a Jet. I double checked it. He hasn't had one.
Really? I thought I was just looking him up. I thought it said he did. Wait, hold on. I trust you. Don't get me wrong over here.
2021, yes, he has. He had 5 total. He had 3 holdings,
None
2
this
false
year?
starts. None this year.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw. Yeah. All right. But hey, that's pretty damn good, bro. You know what I
I'll
mean?
take that.
None this year, 3 different positions. He didn't need to wrap his forearm around a defensive end's neck like Carl Lawson gets every play. He hasn't needed to do that once yet. Amazing.
Pro Football References page is a little confusing. I was misled. That's the handout.
There you go.
That's my bad.
That's me every day.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I read it wrong.
Let's see. Where was the next one? Endrigo comes in and says, our D-line / pass rush is coming to life. Lawson is a punisher with the pressures and QB hits. Quinnen is playing his best football. Top 3 defensive tackle. Bryce Huff graded in the 90s. Pro Football Focus. Big kudos to Jeff Ulbrich. So for reference, Quinton Williams right now of 121 defensive linemen, he ranks 6th with an 88.8 Pro Football Focus grade. His pass rush grade is a 90.1. This dude is going to get the bag at the end of this season. Matt, I know you put out a video about Quinnen. How you feeling right now?
He's lived up to every expectation that I had for him this year. It was a huge year in his 4th year in the league. He's looking for an extension, and he's putting his play up to par with what you need to see in order to, give him that $15+ million a year contract. He's a very, very good player. He's on the stat sheet every single week. He's involved. He's very good in the run game. It's been great.
Green Bean, what are your thoughts on Quinton Williams this year?
Yeah, I mean, I boasted, half in jest because everybody attacked me. I said Quinnen's going to get 14 sacks this year. And what I mean by that is just like Matt said, I have high expectations for this year. It's a contract year. He's been getting better every year. Like he has incrementally improved every single year. And I think this is the year that he's, our expectations were this was the year he's going to kind of settle into who he is and who he's supposed to be. And I think we're seeing that, man. I was happy to see his percentage of snaps go up a little bit. I think this is the first time he broke 70%. which is nice. I still think he should be in the high 80s, 90s, but maybe we'll get there. And I think that if he was on the field more, I just think he would make those plays even more. Imagine if he was getting Aaron Donald snaps. I mean, we're seeing this with 65% of the snaps. So I think hopefully it should still go up by the end of the season. He's a 90% guy. Fuck Nathan Shepard already. Quinton's just as strong in the run game as Nathan Shepard ever was. And that's what I think should happen. But yeah, man, I love Quinton, and I'm really hoping no matter what the damn contract demand is, that when he gets paid, it's us. I want him. The one Mike Maccagnan draft pick that meant something, we got to keep him. This guy.
Dude, I'm sick and tired of seeing contending teams find way to pay superstars massive contracts, and we just don't have enough money in the piggy bank to be able to pay guys. Quinton Williams, if we don't find a way to sign guys that are homegrown talents, that is a failure by the New York Jets. Joe Douglas is absolutely going to get this deal done. Quinton Williams will be a lifetime Jet. Daniel Faust comes in, says, huge odds on Super Bowl. Wow, I wonder what the Jets' odds are right now. I can't imagine it's like very good still, but throw $10 on it, see what happens. Why not? Reekin Devil drops in the super chat. Nothing attached to it, but I do see your $10 one down there, so let me get to that, and then I'll get back to Joe S. and Matthew Lakers. Reekin drops in, says, I like our chances against the Packers a lot. We match up well against them. They are 22nd in defending against the run and have only averaged 17 points per game this season. Great job, fellows. Yes, so I have some stats right here for our offense. Guess what? We are 11th in points scored. We are 12th in yardage gained. We are actually so close to top 10. On defense, we stand at 18th in points against and 10th in yardage allowed. I'm pretty sure DVOA has us somewhere around 18 or 20, and that was after 2 weeks ago. I think we were at 32. So the Jets are screaming up rankings across the way. Even, was it ESPN or NFL.com released the rankings of the teams, and I think the Jets are up to like at least 18 right now.
I saw 12 somewhere.
Woo!
Yeah. Wasn't that? I thought that was Yahoo, though. No, did I have that wrong?
It was
Yahoo Power Rankings.
Pro Football Talk.
Pro Football Talk. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Pro Football Focus, Pro Football Reference, Pro Football Talk, Pro Football Friends.
How you feeling about our Jets, Green Bean, and the rankings where these guys are kind of, starting to fall? This is better than I think Jet fans would have expected.
You know what? Let me say, number one, I'm very happy. It's about time. Like, this is what we want to see. But I want to flip that to something, if I may.
Sure.
We have two rookies up for Rookie of the Week, right? We need to decide who it is, because we'll end up losing if we're a house divided. Somebody else is just going to win it because they're all, everybody's behind the one guy. We need to make our decision as a collective, in my opinion. And we need to decide who it is that should win Rookie of the Week out of Sauce and Breece. And then we got to make sure that they do win.
I love me some Sauce.
I think it's Sauce.
You think so?
I think it's Sauce.
See?
I feel like almost 200 yards and damn near 3 touchdowns for Breece. Like, I don't know how you don't pick him. I love me some Sauce. Like 100%. And I think Sauce should win Defensive Rookie of the Year if it ended right now. And I think Breece should win Offensive Rookie of the Year if it ended right now. But like,
well, the case for Sauce is pretty strong too. I mean, look,
he knocked out the quarterback.
Started the game, first offensive snap for the Dolphins. Sauce Gardner knocks their quarterback out, causing an intentional grounding that ends up with 2 points, which gives us the ball back, which goes to 5 points, to a field goal, which gets us 5 points, gets the pick that led to Zach Wilson's dive into the end zone. So Sauce Gardner is literally responsible for 12 points.
Yeah, I was going to say
pretty good too.
A 12-point swing with those two Sauce Gardner plays. And he, knocked out the quarterback. It's close. I mean, I'm not gonna kill you or anyone who leans Breece Hall. You have a great case there. 200 all-purpose yards, touchdown, almost 2 other ones. He was great. But I would go Sauce.
Yeah, so even
And
though I made
plus
the case
Breece got
for
it
Sauce,
last week, right?
I'm
So
Breece.
if we want to go
Yes.
Sauce this week, we can alternate.
Yeah.
We've got the voting power. We've got 720 people in this chat that can go vote on Rookie of the Week, and we can decide right now who we want.
Yeah,
and I bet
let's
we could
decide.
influence it. Who do we want? We
Ryan,
want Sauce this week?
let's put up.
Let's do
put
a
up
poll.
the thing.
No
Yeah,
one
put up a
vote.
poll.
No one vote, except for this poll, and then we'll all go and we'll spam the
Right.
NFL.
Let's go there
vote.
right now.
Who?
We'll do it together as a group, as one unit, Ryan. Yeah.
I love it. Let's see.
I
And whoever
think
winds up winning will go.
Yeah,
we'll
Breece
play
won
last
last
week.
week.
Well, that's just it. Breece won last week, so like I wouldn't mind seeing Sauce get it because it's a lot tougher for a corner to get Rookie of the Week, and I think
Yeah.
Sauce has definitely earned that accolade based on his play.
so
It's just
funny.
because Breece had such a phenomenal game. That's the only like linchpin in this. All right, poll is in the live chat, boys and girls. Make sure you vote on that. Then we're gonna go over and show the world who we think should win Rookie of the Week.
What a crazy thing. 65 votes in 1 second. Let me see who's winning.
We are off
Seriously.
to a hot start.
Wow, I gotta tell you, even though I made the case for Sauce, I'm definitely thinking that Breece Hall did more for the game. Like you said, almost 3 touchdowns, 100 yards in the air, 97 on the ground. Like incredible. I don't know.
Joe
But
S
I'll
comes in
go
and
with
says
whatever-
Sauce hasn't played against a top-notch quarterback yet. That's the knock right now, I guess, because you're looking at Lamar Jackson in the rain. Then you have, but you got Lamar Jackson in the rain. You got backup quarterback in Brissett. You have Joe Burrow. We couldn't get any pressure on him. I think that was the best quarterback that we played so far. Then you get backup Mitch Trubisky / rookie first-round pick Kenny Pickett. And then you go up against, Bridgewater for a play. And then he goes up against third-string quarterback in Skylar Thompson. So I can understand this thought process. And I do think that the Jets aren't going to get the respect they deserve for a while. If the Jets wind up beating the Packers this week, if that does happen, it's going to be, the Packers don't have any playmakers right now. They just traveled from London. The Jets are, they caught him sleeping a little bit. Then next week, Russell Wilson isn't the quarterback he once was, and we'll keep kicking the can down the line, and it'll be like, I'm fine with that. 100% fine with that. Let teams sleep on us. Let us be the underdog. I don't want to be favored in any game this year. I want to play underdog the entire season.
Yeah, I'm with you. I love coming up from underneath and just knocking out I like being Rocky Balboa, what I like.
Matthew Lakers drops in and says, I remember Rex sending Sheldon Richardson out on some goal line formations. Pretty sure he even has a rushing touchdown or 2. I think he's got 2 or 3. I'm pretty sure Sheldon Richardson. He had a few for us. Or he was either blocking on those goal line plays or he got the ball.
I don't remember him getting the ball. Really? Let me
He definitely did. Yeah. Sheldon
see.
was one of my favorite players that we had for the stretch of time that he was here. I really liked him.
The first 2 years.
Yeah, it was impressive. He was a talented guy.
Yeah, he's got
What team
2
is-
touchdowns in his career.
And I bet he
touchdown,
tried 3 runs, I would bet. I don't know if you could see carries in his overall statistics.
4.
But I bet it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, 4.
4 rushes?
Yeah, 4 rushes is what I'm seeing in 2013. 2 touchdowns. So that shit's a little too gimmicky. Rex got very gimmicky. I don't love that. The Jets have
that's
so
why
many
friggin'
weapons.
Brick wound up losing his every start because we had one offensive lineman on the field for one of those trick plays, and that was the only play Brick ever came out for.
Yep.
Brutal.
It's kind of bullshit.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Like as a coach, you got to be aware of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, all right, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, why am I doing
I
this?
think Brick should have said something at that point. It's like, yo, coach, the fuck? Let me
How
be
do you
center at
explain
least,
that
right?
in a
Like,
game?
it's goofy. It's like
Yeah,
dumb.
But
What was the play? Does anybody remember? I don't remember it.
It was a weird, it was like just the center on the field, I think. I think it ended in like a sack. It's like just a really stupid play. Matthew comes in and says, do any of you feel like we can make any worthy additions at the trade deadline? Do you think Do things change if we continue to win on this path? Interested to see. So I would not add anyone else at the trade deadline because we don't have a whole lot of cap space. I want to see the guys we do have play. Now, if there's a situation where we lose like a linebacker or something like that, and then we have an opportunity to pick up like a free agent, I'm okay with that. I don't really want to trade any assets for someone that I don't think is going to be here long term.
Right.
I don't know. Green Bean, you want to add anyone? Or is there like a position you're kind of keeping your eye on?
You know what? If Quan Alexander didn't come in and look like he looked, I might have said linebacker, but I'm really liking Quan Alexander's impact on the team. And don't forget, we have Jamie Sherwood behind him. So, like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to see us give up any assets. Who do we need? Like, realistic. I mean, you could make an argument tackles, right? But we have guys coming back. George Fant will be back in a couple weeks, hopefully. You got, we signed Oboye and Remmers, and I don't know who, I mean, if you could give Mims for like a long-term starting right tackle, maybe, like that kind of a thing, I don't know.
I would probably, if I were to move Mims, I think I'd probably look for a linebacker or a safety almost. Like, I wouldn't mind a tackle, but like I like Mitchell. Like I think Mitchell can be the guy long term at right tackle. Left tackle, who knows what happens if like AVT, if they're like, hey, yo, left tackle is way more important. You've been a stud. Like we're just gonna drop you over. We're gonna put you wherever we don't find someone in the offseason. Like I think that's what's gonna wind up happening to AVT. It's fascinating. And no one's even thinking about like
how is he gonna get in? Well, how would he get into like Pro Bowls and all pros if he's bouncing around? You know what I mean?
Well, so I don't know how the Pro Bowl works because they got rid of the Pro Bowl this year. So I think they might still do like, there's no more Pro Bowl. Yeah, there's no more Pro Bowl. Yeah, they got rid of it.
Because
so everybody like a skills competition.
Because everybody just rolls around and laughs and doesn't play football.
Yeah, it's a stupid thing. I don't like the Pro Bowl anyway, but I like the skills competition. Like they should do a combine. Yeah. Like that's what it should be. I want to see the fastest guys run the 40. I want to see the strongest guys do the bench press. I want to see like that's exciting to me. And at least there's a competition. Like guys aren't going to risk themselves getting hurt.
Well, I mean, like I think about all the other All-Star, like the NHL skills competition is more fun than the NHL All-Star game. The NBA dunk contests and those 3-point contests are better than the game. The home run derby I like better than the All-Star. Like the Pro Bowl as a product in itself isn't good, but I still think that they should have it as like the honor of like, oh, this player played to a Pro Bowl.
Well, I think you could be selected to the skills competition, so that'll be your Pro Bowl voting. The fans have a voice. You've made it into here. That's the accolade that kind of holds constant almost with like the previous however many years they've been doing the Pro Bowl for. So I do agree with that. I think there should be some type of fan vote to get guys into that competition. I mean, I want to see Justin Tucker boot like a 70-yard field goal. Like I want to see kickers do like some trick shot field goals. Do you see that kick that Tucker made the other day? They said if the field goal post was half a yard wide, he would have still made it. Like if it was dead center, game-winning field goal.
That's wild.
Insane. Might be the best kicker of all time.
Yeah. He's gonna. I saw somebody said he's gonna walk into the Hall of Fame whenever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vinatieri is definitely going to do that, and I would bet Tucker's probably not too far behind him. At one point, I would have thought Rob Vanderjagt would have done it because he was the most accurate kicker for a long time, and then he had that implosion. Was it in the playoffs or just before the playoffs where he like pointed at the sideline and just fucking shanked a kick?
Mike Vanderjagt.
I say Rob. Rob was a guy I graduated high school with. Oh. Whoops. Man. My bad. Greg Newland comes in and says, nothing like being a Jets fan. 2 weeks ago, it was fire Salah, hang Ulbrich. This week, we're becoming a dynasty. Gotta love it. Yo, we are Jets fans. Do you know what fan stands for? It's fanatic. We live on the blade's edge. We are right there. And like, no matter what happens, we're going to overreact one way. We're going to overreact the other way. The next week, it's all part of the experience, boys and girls. All part of the experience. Ablab says, my case for Sauce. Ooh, sorry, I missed it. Sorry, Joe S. first. Joe S. says, Revis played on an island, Sauce plays zone. I think Sauce can play on an island. I think our defense plays all over the place. I don't think it's necessarily one versus the other. I do think that Revis was a better tackler right now, but Sauce is playing the better corner when you're talking rookie year. Like, I'm not saying Sauce is going to be better than Revis right now. Like, I need to see long, shutdown streaks of him doing that. But I really, really like what we're getting from Sauce, and I don't know who could possibly contend with Defensive Rookie of the Year, like going up against him. Is there anyone that you guys have seen that might be in that wheelhouse?
Not unless like an edge rusher gets hot and starts racking up a bunch of sacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Green Bean, do you know any defensive rookies that might be like in contention right now? Because Sauce was number one on Jeremiah's list for top 25 rookies.
No, only because I'm not looking at it that way. If I took a minute and looked over everything, I'm it's still early too, man. You know what I mean? Guys, rookies, it takes a minute. And look, we're in game 5, so there's still 12 more games, 13 more weeks. So anything can happen, I know Devin Lloyd, right? He's one.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be lots of guys. Look, I think for a cornerback, he's got to get some more picks. Those are the numbers, maybe even a pick 6 kind of a thing. Those are the kinds of things that push you up there. Just passes defense. A lot of people, and I think even in the voting and especially in the fans, they don't even consider that. It's like, who gives a shit? It doesn't mean anything. He's got to have the flash, I think, in order to really be considered. Sadly.
Ablab drops in and says, my case for Sauce for Rookie of the Week is because Breece won last week. Right now, we have 308 votes on our poll in the live chat. Whoever winds up winning this, we're going to push everyone over there to vote for Rookie of the Week. Matt, do you know if they have the link up to vote for that yet? Because then if you drop that in the chat, I'll pin it. But it looks like Sauce Gardner is winning with 59% of the vote. Breece Hall has 41% of the vote. Even the guys that vote Breece, if we wind up picking Sauce, we should all go over as a team and get Sauce that Rookie of the Week.
That's it. Like, look, you guys know I said it. Like, I would vote for Breece. I don't like what Ablab said. That's no reason to vote for somebody. You know what I mean? I think I get it, but I don't work that way. Just because somebody else won. I think best man wins, and I think Breece had a larger impact on the game. Like I said, I made the case for Sauce. I think he's, there's a lot there, but I think Breece Hall did more. And if he did make it those extra 2 yards, he would literally have 3 touchdowns and 200 yards. It's kind of hard to argue. But whatever the poll says, I'm in. I will support and abide by the laws of the poll.
I love it. I love it. John Springs comes in and says, do you guys think the Jets will be more recognized after we play New England and Buffalo? I think if the Jets win against Aaron Rodgers, I think you're going to start hearing some noise. And the Jets don't do well on the West Coast, so when we go into Denver, it's still going to be tough for us. Like, I want to see how – the nice thing is this is a young team. They don't realize the issues that the Jets have had in the past. They don't know they're supposed to be losing these games. Like, this is a fun team to watch. If the Jets can get 2 more wins, you're talking 4 straight wins then. Going into the Halloween Eve game against the Patriots, a division rival matchup, if the Jets can blow one of these next 3 teams out of the water, then I think – there's an argument to be made where the national media will start saying stuff. I would love to go into that Buffalo game, regardless of what the record is. Go into that Buffalo game and just keep it close. Like, I want to win it, don't get me wrong, but Buffalo, I feel like, is the best team in the NFL. And if the Jets can at least hang with Buffalo and make it a competitive game through 4 quarters, it's going to make a lot of Jet fans feel really, really good. Matt, how are you feeling about the Jets, and do you think we'll get a little more recognition against New England and Buffalo as opposed to Green Bay and Denver?
Against. So then I would say no. I think these next 2 games would be more important, especially this game. Like, sneaky, they're putting it in front of a big audience. It's on Fox, and it's their A team doing it. It's Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen on the call, which is the game of the week. It's a 1:00 game, but still, like, that's a big deal. And I think if they play well and if they win, then I think it starts to become a little bit more real. Buffalo, I'm sorry to say, I just think they are by far the best team in the league, and I don't really think the Jets have a chance to beat Buffalo this year. But New England is a team that they should be on the same level with. So I think, asking to split or win your home game against the New England Patriots really isn't asking too much. But these next two going up against Rodgers and Russell Wilson, I think is really the one that will get them the national attention, I guess.
Green Bean, what about you? How are you feeling about the Jets possibly getting some recognition over the course of these next 4 weeks?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're talking about New England, but what if we go there, play them, and they kick the shit out of us? Like, what if New England does the same thing that they've been doing to us since they've been doing the same thing to us since 2010? I mean, Bowles had that really good overtime win going into the last week of the season, but I mean, outside of that game, dude, they have been shellacking us steady. So the idea that we're looking past New England or anything, not to say that that's what John's saying, but I'm with Matt. Like, if we can go up there and even, like, let's say we get into a game where we either beat Green Bay or we lose by a field goal, but it's like I think either one of those scenarios is going to set the league up to be like, I don't know, man, the Jets are different. That's what I think. If we beat Aaron Rodgers and beat Russell Wilson, I think that it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. I fully expect 10,000 more subscribers the moment that happens.
Yeah.
Dude, we're going to be losing our goddamn minds if we start winning against two guys that are like at the top of their game. Maybe not so much Russell Wilson at this point, but like those two quarterbacks, those two teams, that would be really impressive. Jet Simulations comes in and says, who would you rather trade for if you could have one or sign in free agency next year? Jesse Bates or Roquan Smith? It would probably be Roquan Smith for me. As much as I like Jesse Bates, I don't love the idea of paying a ton of money for a safety. I feel like linebacker, like there's a really good chance that CJ Mosley isn't here next year unless he decides to renegotiate his contract because he wants to stay a New York Jet. Like though. He renegotiated it to lower his cap hit this year, but he's got a $21 million cap hit next year. So it's like, he's not going to be on this team unless he reworks his deal completely. And, the Jets going on a stretch of wins and being exciting. I mean, CJ's not super young, so maybe he wants to finish his career here. It wouldn't shock me to see him do it. I think he's a team player. And I would love to have CJ stay here, but just not for $21 million. That's too much.
Nope. Especially because he struggles in coverage. I mean, he's as good as it gets, with the run and chasing everybody around. And I mean, he's in on almost every play. He's going 100 miles an hour. He covers sideline to sideline, but he's no good in coverage anymore. He gets beat consistently.
I think Quan Alexander is currently our best linebacker.
Well, Ryan, let me say this to you. So on that note, has anybody noticed that when Quincy Williams went down and Quan Alexander came in, almost right at that moment, the screen passes that we've been dying by have all but dried up. Is that Quan?
That's a shocking revelation, Green Bean, that Quan Alexander is better in coverage than Quincy Williams.
Amazing.
It's great. We've needed this. Like, I love me some Quincy, but like Quincy shouldn't be covering the screen passes. The dude's a heat-seeking missile that should be going after the quarterback. That's it.
Right. And run and just stuff in the run.
Yeah.
Right. Identify the hole and blast through it. That's it. Crush them. Take on the fullback.
Like that's the play for Quincy Williams.
Yeah, but it's interesting though, man. Look, we've been complaining about the screen pass all of last year and the first 3 games this year. It was like, dude, why can't we stop the screen? And then all of a sudden, Quincy Williams goes out, Quan Alexander comes in, and we haven't seen many screen passes. Am I off?
No, I mean, we should have been beaten up by Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on some of those types of screen passes. Like Mostert had 15 yards or whatever. But like Green Bean said earlier, I'm fine with losing if it's by Mostert or Gesicki or one of those guys. Like, we made the decision. Yeah. Hill and Waddle will not beat us. I love seeing all the emojis, too. You see the little lock symbol. Then you see the penguin. You see the cheetah. It's like, let's go. Lock them down. Lock them down.
Yeah.
𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐿 comes in, says, going to the Pats game. Hope to see you there. Very excited. Haven't been since Tebow, but when do you think we extend Joe Douglas? This is technically his 4th year of 6. I would like to extend him. I think we'll probably extend him after next year. I think it's usually, you'll wait till there's like 1 year left. Now, if Zach just shows out the rest of the year and it's like, okay, that's the guy, Joe Douglas should get like a 2 or 3 year extension on what he's got left, because I really believe he is the best GM we've had, and it's not even close. His waiver wire pickups, his trades, his last 2 drafts have been incredible. Like, you're talking, he added 7 first-round talents, if you include Elijah Moore and Breece Hall in that conversation over the course of the last 2 years. Like, yeah, okay, you miss on Becton. That the 2020 draft was a weird season. It was the COVID year. It was like you couldn't interview certain guys. Like, for me, I'm more willing to give him a pass on that year because of Adam Gase. And based on what we're seeing right now, like, this team is seeing some real growth. Green Bean, your thoughts on Joe Douglas?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think, not everything that a GM does is going to be a hit. It's the process. It's how he's doing it. Like, look, if you pick the right positions and one of the guy ends up being a bust or something, you still have to commend the positions. Like the Jets that were coming out of, we didn't even know what the hell positions to take. We were taking tight ends when we needed a center. We're taking defensive tackles when we need a linebacker. It was like, it was out of control for so long. And like, again, like Joe Douglas's process, like how he's building the team. And like you said, quite literally in the last 2 years, he figured out a way to get 5 first-round picks, with his 2 second-round picks being Elijah Moore and Breece Hall. That's insanity. Plus, he's getting Brandon Echols, Michael Carter II, Braden Mann. Like, he's getting those guys in the late rounds. And I think we've never seen anything like this. I mean, the value for the trades, in my opinion, he's a very big part of why Matt Rule got fired for the Sam Darnold trade. I mean, it's like, it's just incredible what he does. And again, I don't agree with anything, with everything. I thought he waited too long to bolster the tackles. I really haven't liked up until this year how he's handled the kicking position. There's quite a few things I have issue with. But overall, I think he's the best GM we've ever had.
Matt, your thoughts on Joe Douglas?
Good. I think he's very good. I would still like to see more success on the field overall before I want to put him at that level. I'm optimistic in the direction that they're heading. But I want to see the more translations to wins and playoff appearances and stuff like that before I'm putting him at the level as like best ever kind of a thing. I still go back to really Parcells because of what the short term and then the domino effect after kind of set the infrastructure for like 15 years of success.
That is a smart way to look at it, Matt. I completely agree. John comes in and says, guys, love the content. Keep it going. Have your expectations been met with Lawson? Love his motor. The last 3 weeks, absolutely. This guy we were so excited for him last year. Like, we knew this was the guy we were going to get, and we were all really concerned with the Achilles tear. Like, was he going to lose some of that explosion? But him and Quinton Williams have found ways to make impact plays when it matters the most. Green Bean has said this in the past. Quinton Williams and Lawson, these guys find ways to make plays on 3rd down, on 4th down, like in critical moments. This isn't a first down sack or like, not that that's a bad thing either, but like these guys make plays when they need to be made. Carl Lawson, strip sack of Skylar Thompson. Quinton Williams recovers, drops Tyreek Hill like a rock. Green Bean, your thoughts on Lawson?
Yeah, I'm just happy to see him kind of stepping it up now, because for a couple weeks there, I got real nervous. I was almost starting to think like, look, don't force feed guys that are ineffective just because of their contract or who they're supposed to be and all that jazz. But yeah, man, it's nice to see him, become the player that we were hoping we were getting last year. And like you said, there's all kinds of concerns for reasons why he may have lost a step, another year older, in addition to all that. But yeah, I'm really excited about him and what this team, the defensive line in particular, as they gel with each other. We talk a lot about the offensive line and how, they need to, be able to gel and work with each other and understand how everybody works and what they're going to do and everything. I think a lot of that can be attributed to the defensive line difficulties as well. I mean, they have to, kind of feed off each other and, work stunts appropriately and all that jazz. I think, it's exciting with Carl Lawson.
Matt, have your expectations been met with Carl Lawson?
This is the player that I thought they were getting, what we've seen the last few weeks. I think the first 2 games were a little concerned, or I guess, how many games? 5 games they played. Yeah, so the first 2 games a little concerning, but the last 3 I think have been very good.
CJ comes in, says, still can't get over with Hill trying to block Quinn, and that man ran into a brick wall. That play, I can't tell you how many times I rewatched it over and over and over again. And I knew as soon as I did my 5 takeaways from the game and I put the ludicrous "move, bitch, get out the way" on that intro, I was like, all right, screw it. I'm demonetized. Don't care. Totally worth it. Want to see this on loop. It's been a lot of fun. That's probably my favorite highlight that I've seen from like a defensive player in a while. Like that was a fun one. Green Bean, what are you thinking about the Tyreek Hill stiff arm?
It's the best thing I've ever seen. I mean, honest to God, it's like, look, when the Breece Hall run, I mean, it was a reception, but his running after the wheel route, right? Like I was so tickled by that. Oh, number one, fucking Berrios, man. He can't do that shit again.
Oh.
We are so lucky that didn't get called.
Yeah, like a holding or a block in the back or anything.
Right, he's pulling on him. Like, I don't know what that was, but the whole, like the way that it was, like 79 yards, but the last like 20, and particularly the last like 10, 12, was Breece Hall like spinning. There were guys on his shoulders, on his ankles. He's kept. I was like, that might be the best thing I've ever seen in a Jets uniform. Like I was absolutely tickled by it. And then the end of the game, the Quinton Williams things happens. And I was like, there is no way that is not better than the Breece Hall. Just like the whole scenario with Tyreek Hill talking shit, just the whole thing, man. And for the game, that was kind of the icer. You know what I mean? Like the game, like we were winning, but that was the icer. And for it to have it, to happen like that, like a Carl Lawson strip sack, Quinton Williams, out of all the guys, picking it up, Tyreek Hill right there thinking he's going to do something. He didn't just run into him. He quite literally throat slammed him. It was like, and just, dude, he landed on his back. He rolled into his head. And then Tyreek Hill put a boot on after that. What was that? I think that's an ego boot. That's all that thing was. Because I don't want to go out there anymore. That's what that was.
Matt, how you feel about the Tyreek Hill hit?
I hope they play that at my funeral because that was my favorite thing that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, that's epic.
I love it. Edward Ziff says, coming from North Carolina for the Halloween game. Be there, Jets, Pats. I'm really excited. I love talking shit on the Patriots, and if the Jets can really get themselves in a position where we can like really start talking some shit, I'm excited. I curse like a sailor. It's not good, but the Jets have been bad for so long. I haven't been able to like unleash. Can't wait to do it. AbLab comes in and says, have you guys experienced spikes in your subs? Hope so. Also, do we have the most content creators out of all teams? #gang. Right now, I haven't seen a crazy spike in subs. I'm starting to get as I put out more videos, you start to see more and more. I am excited because you could tell the boom of Jet content creators or Instagram pages or Facebook pages, things like that. The last boom was 2015. Like that's when a lot of things came around. Like I know Ali, we were talking to him from 𝐿NY Jet fans. He started covering the Jets right around then, and he rode that wave and he loved it. I'm pretty sure that was the year. I think that was the year Jet Central started, if I'm not mistaken, and he saw a nice boost there. We haven't been able to, like, when you're covering a team that has been horrible for so long, there's just the casual fan isn't coming out and looking up highlights, looking up recaps. So as they start to win more games, as they start to get more media recognition, I do think that is going to go up. And as far as content creators, I think the Jets have the most quality content creators of any team in the NFL. Like just across the board, there is just a plethora of guys. Like even guys that have only just started coming up, guys like Buffalo Jets fan and 𝐒𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐞, and I'm gonna lose like some of the other guys that have recently come up, but like the three of us, Richie, Ian, Jake Asman, I'm gonna lose names off the top of my head right now, but we've got so many good quality Let's Talk Jets radio. Like those guys have been doing it for so long. There's a lot of really good content creators, not even just on the video side of things, but on like the Jets X Factor guys where they do their videos, but they also have their website themselves. Like they do some great content over there. The Jets absolutely have the best team of guys. Like we have a great community. Green Bean, your thoughts on all this?
Well, yeah, I mean, since we've started, look, like I said, I've been watching you guys a couple years before I got started. I remember Matt was still talking about, I think, the Mets and the Islanders and shit. I think
it was before you went full Jets.
Yeah, I found Matt O'Leary, I believe it's either 800 subs or 1,800 subs. Like, so
it was definitely
in the beginning.
I think I reached out to Matt around 500 or 600 subs, if I'm not mistaken. Matt, you could probably validate that. It was under 1,000.
Definitely under 1,000 for sure.
Yeah. Right. So I had to find you when you were around 800. So I've been watching you guys, and Ryan, I used to take Ryan's stuff and posted on Jet Nation. I had no idea he was on there too. I didn't know yet. I would just go, "Hey, this guy's great. Listen to this," and I would take his video and I would post it in the Jet Nation thread. And then Ryan was like, "Oh, he started talking like, 'Oh yeah, that's me,' and then we're like, wow, like holy shit." Then when I started making videos for Jet Nation, we talked. But so we haven't had, at least since I've been around there's been nothing. There's been no winning. It's been all losing the entire time. So I imagine if there is a legitimate excitement that subs will go up. I think I'm like 60 away from 8,000, the new 8,000 threshold. So I'm hoping that you guys will get me past 8,000 maybe in the next week.
If you guys
or so.
are not subbed up to Green Bean right now, we got 700 something people in there.
Yeah.
You better go over to Green Bean's channel. He's linked in the description down below. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's get me over 8,000 tonight. That would be so great.
We could do it.
But I think, but as far as like, I don't think any team has anywhere near the amount, just quantity. I'm with you on the quality, but the quantity, I don't think anybody touches us. The Panthers have 5, 6,
Dude, the Falcons, I tried
have,
to do a content thing with them 2 years ago. They had no one. I'm Googling everything. Like they had like audio podcasts. That was it. The Colts had no one like 2 years ago. Like the Jets had like probably like 10 deep 2 years ago. And we got like even more now.
I know. Every 14 days, there's 2 more Jets content creators.
Matt, your thoughts on everything, content creation wise?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely noticed it go up, but I'm still waiting for that big spike. And I agree. I think if the Jets have a surprise year, like heck, who knows, if they win 10, 11 games, maybe a wild card team, I think that's when all of us would really pop. But you guys are right. We have so many good content creators. Well, maybe not Jets Chaos, but everybody else.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Well, you know what he's doing?
He's in the chat. He's somewhere in there.
Matt, you know what that asshole's doing? Did I tell you what he's doing?
He messaged me. Are you talking about the other team?
Yeah. This fucking guy. He's a turncoat.
What'd he say?
Jeremy. Well, look, Jeremy being the funny guy that he is, but he noticed, just like what we're talking about, the 49ers content creation world there's a complete vacancy. So he lives there. He lives in that area. So he's creating 49ers chaos and finding 49ers content and putting them together on a channel because they don't have it. So, but now we're going to start calling him 49ers chaos. 49er fan, Jeremy. Trey Lance, Jeremy.
I love it. I love it.
Jeremy
Joe
G.
S says Mike Tannenbaum's draft in 06-07 is right up there with one of the great drafts. Yes, all time for the Jets, it has to be. 06 was Brick and Mangold. And then 07 was Revis Harris. Is that right?
Yeah, but can we not call them Tannenbaum drafts? They're Mangini drafts.
Mangini.
That's what they were.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We had Tannenbaum like well before and after that, and we just never saw that kind of caliber of draft.
Yeah, totally different. And look, you can give Tannenbaum credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was exciting. He was an exciting GM. We called him Trader Mike, and he pulled together some amazing trades.
Make
crazy
it happen,
stuff.
Tanny.
Make it happen. You knew, like, if you ever heard a report, like the Jets, the Falcons, and the Colts are all, trying to trade. You knew it. Like, all right, we're getting them. You know what I mean? If Tanny wants them, he's getting them. And he built those teams. I mean, like, you have to give him credit. Like, credit where credit is due. But on the back end of that, we had to pay the piper, bro. He ended up destroying this team. And then poor little John 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐿 had to come in and clean up his mess, created all those compensation picks and all that cap money that Mike Maccagnan ended up using to get Revis and Cromartie and Gilchrist and Screen and Ivory and Fitzpatrick and all those. But yeah, so I mean, I give Mike Tannenbaum his credit, but those drafts were all Mangini, man, for sure.
Matt, your thoughts on... Oh, wait, sorry. Prolific Flair. Sorry, I started thinking and then stopped thinking. Prolific Flair says, as I look through the remaining schedule, outside of Buffalo, I see every team as beatable. Not saying we win them all, but we're supposed to be in every one of those games. What's your takes, fellas? Yeah, I think that's exactly where I fall as well. I don't mind if we are not favorited in any game the rest of the year. I'm okay with that. I do think that's going to change. I think you're going to start seeing on the back half of the schedule us being favorited going into those games, especially at home. But for me, I think the Jets should be in every game. We should not get blown out aside from maybe Buffalo. Like, Buffalo are the two games that we have left that are really, really dominant. For me, I just stay competitive. Matt, your thoughts on the remainder of the schedule?
Yeah, really, Buffalo, like I mentioned earlier, that's a one team where I just think I think they're going to win like 14 games this year. Like, that's the kind of caliber of team that they are. But everyone else, they're not going to win out or win every game except for the Buffalo one. There are going to be losses in there, but there's no reason that you can't be competitive with the two other teams in the division in Miami and New England. There's no reason that you can't. We outlined ways that they could beat Green Bay. You have games against Detroit, Chicago,
Jacksonville,
Minnesota. Like, there's definitely winnable games in there. I agree. I think this is a really good point from Prolific Flair.
If Sauce can lock down Jefferson, that would be really impressive. Jefferson and Diggs are the two matchups I think I want to see remaining on our schedule with Sauce that would really test him as far as a high caliber offensive player against our rookie goes. Green Bean, how are you feeling about the rest of our schedule and the Jets at least being in contention with all these games? Like, should be in every one of these games except for maybe Buffalo.
And look, look, Buffalo's clearly better, right? But there's no reason we can't hang. There's no reason, like, it's a division game and all that stuff that used to have such an impact. Like, you always played your division well, right? That was always the thing. No matter who sucked and who was great, it was always a game. So that kind of stuff can still apply. I think, just like Matt said, there are winnable games. And if the Jets can come out with a lot of, some of them and actually win, just like this third string quarterback thing, we should win a game like that. For many years, we don't. The guy comes in and he's a hero, right? We've seen it so many times. The Jets won that game, and that was 2 weeks in a row that we won that kind of game. So, like, the Jets just need to be competitive, man. Again, our expectations were 7 to 9 wins. If it's more, great. But most of us were right in that pocket. I saw some people with 5 or 6. I saw some people with 9 or 10, 11. But generally speaking, we were kind of in that bubble, most of us, 7 to 9 wins. If we can do that and maybe even get to the high side, let's say we walk out of this year with 9 wins and maybe even at least compete for, but maybe even nab that 7th playoff spot, lose in the wild card, this season is a major success. And I think if we're competitive each week, then that's realistic. And that's all I really want to see. The blowout shit has to stop. That's all that's huge for me. Blowouts got to stop, particularly to New England.
Teddy Craney comes in, says, "What is up, boys? How are we feeling about this team after 5 weeks? Who is your best player? Mine is AVT." Yeah, right now, I'm going to give one offense, one defense, because there's just no way I can, do that. And it's in the trenches. It's AVT and it's Quinton Williams for me. I think it's not even close. AVT switching 3 different positions and playing at a high caliber at all of them. And then Quinton Williams just playing lights out in a contract year. This guy is one of the top 5 interior defensive linemen in the NFL. Right now, he's ranked 6th on Pro Football Focus in terms of all defensive linemen. That is 121 qualified defensive linemen, and he is 6th on there with a 90.1 pass rush grade. Matt, if you had to pick a player on offense and a player on defense, who are you picking?
It's definitely those same 2 guys. For sure for me. I was going to say if it was just one, I would lean Quinton just because I think he's been dominant week in and week out. The AVT versatility is just unbelievable, though. The 2 of them by far, I think, and that's great too, right? Because they're supposed to be your young building blocks going forward. It's not like some guy who's on his last leg, who's a veteran that you brought in and it's like not going to be a part of this team for the future. They're both young and building blocks for this thing.
Love it. Love it. Green Bean, what about you? If you had to pick someone on offense and someone on defense, who are you picking?
Denzel Mims and Ty Johnson for defense. Let's see. I think I'm right in there, man. AVT, if you got to build we're talking about like foundational pieces to build on. Yeah, man. The AVT is an absolute stud, and by the end of the year, if it continues, he's going to be in the conversation for the best interior offensive line, maybe even exterior. He's going to be among the best offensive linemen in the league. And Quinton is a stud muffin, man. And look, again, he's been getting better every year. Even last year, he had 7.5 sacks or something, 7 sacks last year. Like every year he's getting better. And this is just like it's continuing. You see him now. He is absolutely disrupting the pocket every time. Like they have to double team him. He was double teamed on the fumble recovery. He shed those guys, scooped up the fumble. So I don't know. I think AVT and Quinton for sure.
Indy Colt drops in and says, "How confident are you on Salah making this talent to its prime?" Look, I think there is a lot of hope for this team. And there's things on Salah's resume and LaFleur that I would like to see cleaned up a little bit. But that's all right. You got to remember, they're in their second year being a head coach, second year being an offensive coordinator for LaFleur. I didn't like the shotgun run on 3rd down before the 4th down and 2 play to Corey Davis that we thought he had the pass interference. I thought that was a bad play. But overall, look, Robert Saleh has guys, talented guys, like Whitehead, like Reed, like Quan Alexander coming to this team because of who he is. When is the last time the Jets were able to attract people because of their head coach? It was Rex Ryan. That was when you had, Bart Scott and Jason Taylor and LaDainian Tomlinson. That's when you started to attract some really good players. And if the Jets, like Green Bean said, if there is some way we could compete for a wild card or even sneak into one, you're going to see a 2009, 2010 style Jets come in next year, and you're going to see guys starting to take a little bit less money to play with Zach Wilson, to play for this team, to play for a player's coach in Robert Saleh. This is an exciting team if the pieces can click. Green Bean, how confident are you that Saleh can make things click here?
Let me tell you, I'm going to be real honest because it's just a few of us in here, close buddies. That's my concern. I'm really happy right now. I really am. And you can't take it away from Saleh. These guys are playing 100% effort for 60 minutes, and you got to give it to them. But my main concern for this team still resides in the coaching, whether that's Robert Saleh and the overall, or Jeff Ulbrich and the defense, or Mike LaFleur's silly-ass play calling throughout periods of the game. that's where my concern. I know I like a lot that they're doing as well. I don't want to make it sound like I'm throwing stones, but I wouldn't use the word confident when I'm talking. I think I'm happy right now and I have hope, but I'm not confident in this coaching staff yet. While I'm happy what I'm watching right now, so that's kind of where I am.
Matt, what about you? How are you feeling about the coaching staff?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not ready to go in the confident level yet. I mean, we talked a lot about Douglas before. I'm definitely more confident in Joe Douglas than I am with Robert Saleh, but I need to see it. Like we kind of all said this earlier, but these next 3 games are huge for this team to figure out, is it really the same old Jets or is things actually different? And I think we'll have a better answer going into the bye.
Guys, we have 564 votes in our poll question. Who gets Rookie of the Week? It is a dead heat. 50% for Breece Hall, 50% for Sauce Gardner. We were talking earlier. Breece got it last week. Breece had the more impressive stats this week. Very easily could have had the 3 touchdowns. Sauce Gardner, probably a little bit more difficult for him to get a Rookie of the Week because of the position he plays, just the nature of teams throwing away from him. Had the safety, had the interception, directly responsible for a 12-point swing in the Jets' score this past week, and it seems like fans are totally torn on this. 50%, 50%. Yeah, and whoever winds up winning this, we are pushing everyone over to the vote, and we are all going to vote for that guy. As a team, we are going to make sure that guy gets the Rookie of the Week, 100%. Main Jets fan drops in, says, love the show. What are the chances we keep the spot we have in our division? I've watched the team, and dare I say there is hope. There is a lot of hope in this team, and a lot of it stems from Zach Wilson. If Zach Wilson can be the guy, the talent is there, 100%. This is the most talented offensive skill position team that I have seen in a very long time. Like, I think this is better than what Sanchez had, and I liked Santonio Holmes and Braylon Edwards and LaDainian Tomlinson and Thomas Jones. Was Thomas Jones gone when LT got here?
Well, yeah.
They
were
each
year,
right?
1 year. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that was a good team. I think our tight ends are better right now. I think our running backs are younger for the long term. I think our wide receivers are younger for the long term. Like, this has more hope than I think maybe those 2009, 2010 teams had. Just because of some of the veteran leadership there. Matt, I want to ask you, do you think the Jets stay in second, or do you think there's, I don't know. How do you feel about the hope moving forward?
I think second's absolutely in play. I really do. I really think it's going to be a dogfight between the Jets, Dolphins, and Patriots. I think all 3 of those teams are kind of in that same 7, 8, 9 win range, and we'll see how good this team really is. And I think they absolutely have a chance for second.
Teddy Craney jumps in and says, follow-up question, how good is that Adams trade looking? Best trade ever. I will say right now, that is the best trade the Jets have ever had, and it's not even close. I will say the best trade ever right now. I mean, it's hard not to say the Herschel Walker trade because of everything that happened with the Cowboys, but the Russell Wilson trade going from Seattle to Denver, oh man, is Denver getting burnt real hard right now. They gave up 2 firsts, 2 seconds. They gave up Noah Fant. They gave up, I think they got like 2 other draft picks as well. Like, that is a brutal, brutal trade if you're Denver. Yeah. Luckily, Seattle got, Jamal Adams to be the all-time safety sack record, which I don't think is anything absolutely crazy to hang your hat on. I am entirely happy with how that trade worked out for the Jets, but I think the Seattle trade with Denver this past offseason was just so lopsided based on what we're seeing. And Denver extended Russell Wilson. He's a Bronco till he's 40, and that looks awful right now. Green Bean, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, and I think, jumping off the Russell Wilson bandwagon this quick, I think is probably not the best idea either. I mean, give him time to this is his first time not being a Seahawk, totally different environment, it's in the mountains, there's different air. I mean, there's so many reasons up there. But that said, right now, it looks pretty silly. especially with Geno Smith being one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, who the fuck?
Imagine if we had just held on to him and drafted DK Metcalf and
yeah. Well, you know what's funny about that, Ryan? It's like, look how long we would have had to wait. Like Jets fans, we're not waiting 9 years for a quarterback to be, no way. But look, hey, good for Geno Smith, man. But Seattle looks brilliant on this end right now. But I still think, like you said, they extended Russell Wilson. He's making $240 million. Lots of it is guaranteed. I don't know. I think let's just wait and see. I mean, even if he has a down year, I still think Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. I don't think he fell off a cliff,
Matt, how you feeling about the Adams trade and best trade ever?
That is definitely the best trade ever. Joe Douglas absolutely fleeced Seattle. Getting AVT and Garrett Wilson for Jamal Adams is tremendous. I'll take that. I would have taken just AVT for Jamal Adams or just Garrett Wilson.
Just Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
absolutely. And not even just that. You're talking like an extra $10 million. Like we basically got Corey Davis or like we got an extra good player. It was those 2 draft picks plus a $12 million a year player because of the contract that Adams signed and that we didn't have to sign. Absolutely wild. Viles.
That's big, the money, right? That's such a big piece that we don't even think about to include. Like you said, I would just take AVT too, or even I'd consider just Garrett Wilson. But then when you add, we got both and saving like $12 million on top of it. I think it's amazing. It's really what it is.
Green Bean, for every 25 likes, we're going to pick a qualifier for our t-shirt giveaway. Green Bean, I'm going to have you start ripping those off. We only got a few minutes left, so make sure you hit that like button. Mutt Viles drops in and says, have you guys seen the clip on Von Miller's podcast about Diggs almost getting traded to the Jets in 2020? I did not see that, but I would not have liked it. Like, I like Diggs. I think he's a great player, and I think the Bills absolutely made the right decision for Josh Allen. I don't think Sam Darnold was the guy to have to give up whatever pick we would have had to give up, because I'm assuming at that point, I don't remember when Diggs was traded, but you're talking about either the Adams pick or our pick, and both those picks were really good. You're talking the Jets had the second overall pick, and the AVT pick was originally 23, I think. So it would have been one of those. If the Jets gave up 23, then okay, great, you get Diggs. You probably don't, make the draft pick in Garrett Wilson, but then you probably take Jermaine Johnson at 10, and we see how this all played out, right now. So I'm okay not getting Diggs based on where we were in 2020. Matt, your thoughts on this?
Wouldn't it have been, who did the Jets draft in 2020?
Well, 2021 was the draft. The trade happened in 2020. So would it have been it would have been Becton, right? Because it would have been, that was the 2020 draft in the first round. It would have been an 11th overall pick. I don't know when the Diggs trade happened. Was it after the draft or pre-draft? Because it would have been Josh Allen's third year, right? Like
it was
2018, 19, and then 2020.
When did Justin Jefferson get drafted? Because that's
2020. Okay, so that's what it was. It was before that draft. So we would have lost Becton. That would have been the better trade then, because we would have much rather had Diggs over Becton based on what we saw. But at the same time, you needed the left tackle. Like you wouldn't have done that at that point, I think, unless you then go for the left tackle at 23. Maybe AVT winds up being your left tackle. You have Diggs and you have Zach Wilson. I don't know. I mean, I wanted CeeDee Lamb that year. That was kind of my guy if we weren't going to go with the tackle. So how you feeling about it, Matt?
Interesting. Like, obviously at the time I wanted the Jets to do something like that to try to really get Sam Darnold to the next level, but I don't think that would have really done anything. I think at this point it's kind of it played itself out, and I like where the Jets are with their young receiving core and their young quarterback.
Matt, I'm going to have you go to last week's stream if you could pull up a few guys from over there. Soy Class Act drops in, says, we love Carter as 1B, right? You guys are the best. Thank you, Soy Class Act. I love Carter as 1B. I really like Breece Hall. I was actually kind of upset that we drafted Breece Hall in the second round. I did not think the Jets were going to go that route. I thought for sure the Jets would be looking for a running back in like the fourth round. And when we pulled the trigger, I was like, man, that means Carter's getting relegated to like backup duty, but the way they're splitting carries and the way these guys are going to be able to stay healthy, Michael Carter is the voice. He's the vocal leader on this offensive side of the ball. Breece Hall can complement him, and I don't think there's any love lost between the two of them. We have a really strong, really good young crew going right now. Before I get to Indy Colt, I do see Mike Kaz, Jets all the time. Thank you so much for joining the economy class. Make sure you drop some JETS in the chat for Mike. And then Harry W drops in with his member super chat, says, this is our best offense since Vinny Testaverde era. Yeah, I don't know. Pennington had a few good years in there where it was like Coles and Moss and
totally.
Yeah, I don't think I'd say Testaverde, but it's good. I think this is definitely a really, really good skill position set. Like it's still too early for me to say like ever, but like really, really good. Indy Colt. Yeah.
I just opened up the Rookie of the Week thing. I just wanted to see who else was up. And you know what it says, dude? I think they're kind of steering us away from Breece Hall.
Really?
They said he has 97 rushing yards, a rushing touchdown, 79 yards receiving touchdown.
Oh, they didn't even get it right.
Oh, that's wrong.
Yeah, 79. But then they added another TD. It's not reception. 97 rushing yards, comma, rush TD, comma, 79-yard receiving touchdown. Like it's wrong.
You did.
That
doesn't. The stats are not right. He absolutely had 100 yards. He had the 2 receptions. He had the one on like the 21-yard line or whatever.
Here's what it says for Sauce: 5 tackles, comma, safety, comma, interception, comma.
So they gave Sauce the safety. I don't think Sauce actually gets the safety on that.
Yeah, he does.
I think because it's a penalty, I think that's not actually attributed to him.
No, he gets it because it's on his stats because he caused the intentional grounding. It would have been a sack otherwise.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
So maybe Sauce gets it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Sauce. Right now, we're at 647 votes, and Breece Hall has a 1% lead right now.
Amazing. I want to remind everybody. I'm sorry, Ryan. I want to remind everybody. Before we asked everybody, there's 6 million of you guys in here. We asked you to help me get over 8,000 subscribers today. I only need 60, and we've got 2. So come on.
Come on, everybody. Only 2. Come on, head over to Green Bean's channel. It's in the description. Just go over there real quick. Hit the little subscribe if you haven't hit it. There's got to be at least a few of you guys in here that haven't subbed up Green Bean at this point.
I thought that was funny too.
Indy Colt drops in and says, guys, as a Colts fan, I have to ask, is Matt Ryan done? The answer is yes. Matt Ryan was done before you guys traded for him. I was a little surprised you guys went that route. I thought you'd just bottom out and get like a top draft pick. But he looks toast. And I'm not exactly sure where you guys wind up going. That Carson Wentz trade kind of burnt you pretty good. I don't know. Green Bean, what do you think the Colts wind up doing?
I'll tell you what. I've shared this before, Colts fan. I happen to like Ballard, your GM, very much. And I also happen to like your coach, Frank Reich, very much. But they have absolutely botched this quarterback thing. Number one, not protecting Andrew Luck, right? And Ballard was there, so not protecting Andrew Luck. And then they finally do, and he retires and everything. But then going from Luck to Phillip Rivers to Carson Wentz. Oh, no, there was somebody in between there, too, I think. But then
was Foles in there between? Or was
that something like maybe.
Brissett was mixed in for
Brissett, right. Brissett. Yeah, I forget. But like, look, they've been going for like this snatch a wily vet thing for a long time. It's like you go and you trade for Carson Wentz within 1 year, and he had a fucking great year, 27 touchdowns, like 7 interceptions, something like that. And they hated him so much, the team, that they got rid of him. And then you bring in Matt Ryan. I think it's a real big slip, very similar to Matt Rule in Carolina. That's been a huge misstep by him, and he now paid the price. But it's like, I don't know. I think Matt Ryan, it was a good idea. Like, your team is stocked. You know what I mean? It's like you have a lot of talent on the fact that, you get a legend. He's just going to kind of, the perfect offense for him. I like the idea, but I think the Colts need to stop and just get a quarterback and groom him. I mean, Frank Reich's a great offensive mind quarterback. Like, I don't know. I think you're blowing it, quite frankly. And it's, I'd be nervous for, your owner's old and drunk and he'll fucking fire everybody, man. You know what I mean?
Maybe a Mitch Trubisky or a Daniel Jones. Like, I don't know. They might win enough games where they kind of play themselves out of contention for a young quarterback. And I don't know if I see them trading the bag for Lamar, but maybe, I don't know. I'd like to see him draft a quarterback for sure.
I agree with that.
Daniel Faust, thank you so much. He gifted a membership, and let's see who got it. I saw someone gets it. I think it was Host. Hype got the membership. Good stuff. Drop some JETS in the chat, brothers. Love it. All right, we have reached the end of our show.
Really?
I did see a comment in there.
Oh, we're
Where did
over.
I see it? I wanted to touch on it real quick. Let me see if I could find it real fast. I don't think I'm going to find it. Oh, Tamarack says, Ryan, I need you to go back on the roundtable. I talked to Richie. I'm pretty sure I'm going to hop on with them tomorrow for a little bit and just spit fire. So if you guys want to check that out, I should be hopping on at least for a little bit over there. All right. So Green Bean, you got our list of qualifiers from our t-shirt giveaway?
Yep, I got them.
Love it. Matt, can you read off 5 names for us from last week's video?
Okay, let's do Scotty178.
Hold on. All right, Scotty 178. Got it.
Kenneth Duffy.
Duffy. What's up, Duff? Or he's on Twitter. Okay.
Mark Ferraro.
Got it.
This dentist, that.
This dentist.
Dennis. Like,
Dennis. That.
Yeah. That, yeah. And then Drew Flight.
All right. Got it.
All right. I got a few from Twitter that we'll throw out there. Televised Hippo.
Nice.
Be one of them. That's a great name.
It is. It's good. I like that.
Let's do Yanks win again since they're playing.
Cool.
We're going to go Joey Jets. We're going to go Melissa. And our buddy Mutt Viles.
There he is. All right. Got a nice list tonight. It's robust.
Love it. All right, let's do a little bit of odds or evens. 3, 2, 1. That's a 9. That's an odd.
All right. Odd. Here we go. Benji Younger, you're out. Ryan Jett, you're out. Edward Ziff, see you later. Joe S., you're out. Top Thrill 01, you're out. Greg C., a.k.a. Gonna Make You Take It, you're out.
Oh, no.
Hawk, you're done. Scotty178 is out. Whoops. Mark Ferrero is gone. Drew Flight is gone. Yanks win again. That makes lots of Mets fans secretly very, very happy. Melissa, out. All right. We're ready.
Guys, we got 683 votes. Let's see if we can get it up over 700 votes in the live chat, and then I will end the poll. 3, 2, 1. That is, what is that? That's 10. 10.
All right. Gitmo Bob, you're gone. James D., you're out. Hank is out. Kenneth Duffy is gone. Whoops. Okay. Televised Hippo is out. And Mutt Viles. Sorry, Mutt Viles. There you go.
Big T Charlie drops in with his member super chat. Says, Ryan, did you see Quinton one angry run on Good Morning Football? I did see that. It was great. Watching them yell about the entire thing was just so awesome. He just planted him 6 feet deep. All right, boys. 3, 2, 1. That's an 8. Even.
Okay.
Oh.
8.
That was a 9.
No, it was 5. You had a what, 2?
2, and Green Bean had 1.
What's 5 plus 2 plus 1, Matt?
8.
Yeah, didn't you just say 9?
I thought you said 9.
Maybe I said 9. I had a few beers. Sorry. It's 8.
Yeah, okay.
It's 8. That's an even. Oh, Jesus
All
Christ.
right. Vesseled, you're gone. Salty Nuts, you're out. And Joey Jets is gone. We got 3 left.
3 left. Chat, give us a number. 3, 2, 1. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 5. That's an 11. 6 plus 5 is 11.
All right, that gives us a winner. Nick Rousseau, you're out. Dennis, that. Cody Dog wins.
Cody Dog, reach out to me on Twitter or one of my social media pages. Let's get you a t-shirt. Brother, thank you so much for everything. I'm going to close off this poll. 691 votes. Our winner for our Rookie of the Week, Breece Hall, dropping a 51%. Sauce Gardner with a 48%. That doesn't make sense. It said 52 just before that, so that's a little confusing. So Breece Hall winds up getting it. 52%. Let's go over. Let's vote for our boy Breece. Make sure you vote for him for Rookie of the Week. Mutt Viles, before we head out, says, Green Bean making me look like the Cowboys can't pass the divisional round. LOL. Great show as always, boys. Thank you so much, Mutt Viles. Let's go around our panel here and give our closing thoughts. Green Bean, any last words for our panel?
Yeah, good stuff, man. Look, Jets fans, let's enjoy it. Weather the haters. They're hating because they already hate us. No matter what we do, it's us. We're fine. The most recent episode 87 of Green Bean's Jets Pod is up now. You can find that and subscribe. Green Bean Jets fan on YouTube.
Matt, any last words for our panel?
New episode of Just Jets tomorrow. We are talking about if the expectations change after the New York Jets upset win over the Dolphins. And we are doing the Jet Report live on YouTube at 2 p.m. Monday to Thursday. Available in podcast form shortly thereafter.
I love it. Boys and girls, thank you so much for flying with us tonight. My name's Ryan. I've been your pilot. This is Jets Talk signing off. JETS.